Welcome to It's All Fine and Danjee, where we talk about community, health, culture, and all of the big and little things that make life good. Here are your hosts, Dan and Anjee.
Hello, and welcome to episode 86 of the It's All Fine and Danjee podcast. This is Angie's birthday weekend adventure episode.
Yeah, yes, it is. I had quite an adventurous birthday weekend. It was wonderful.
It wasn't it? I think
it was really from like Wednesday on, though.
Yeah, I love that though. I love when you get like a birthday week or whatever. I love doing that for you or for whoever's birthday it is. And if we sound a little tired, it's because we have been going back to back to back. You know, how many miles did we kayak yesterday? Canoe. We'll get into that, but
it was like 8 miles, but it's like we took like 5 hours to do it, so we kind of took our time. But you're still, kayaking a lot, out in the sun. So that was fun.
It was really fun. So what we're talking about is, for this weekend, I surprised Angie. She wanted to go camping. So I surprised her by finding a place that had cabins. And it's funny because you were talking about the stuff we need to pack and the sleeping bags and all that.
And I even went into work early on Friday so that I could leave an hour early because I figured, I did know it was a couple hour drive. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll need a couple hours to set up once we get there. And we were kind of fighting the light. It gets darker earlier now.
Sure.
So we get there and lo and behold, I don't have to set any tent up at all, which was fabulous.
Yeah, I know. That was the thing. I wanted to surprise you, but I didn't want you to try to pack a bunch of stuff or do a bunch of extra work, and I didn't really either. So when you're like, can you wash the sleeping bags? I'm like, I'm going to have to tell her. So what I'm getting at is we stayed at the Ocklawaha Canoe Outpost and Resort in Fort McCoy. That's right on the edge of the Ocala National Forest here in Florida. And if you're not familiar, it's the coolest place. So my objective was to find a place to go and camp where we could stay in a cabin, where we could do canoeing, where we could do bicycles, though we didn't end up doing that.
Yeah.
But, that we could do all that and be real close to where we camped. And so that was the place I found online posting. I think on Facebook, some of you guys had mentioned it was Jamie Tisler who gave me that advice, but many of you came back and said you'd stay there before. So can't say enough good things about this. Teresa and Lance are the owners. They are so cool and so down to earth and so hospitable.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was amazing.
It really was.
After we were at the cabin for a little while, I went on the front to take a picture, and I noticed she had hung like a happy birthday banner up at the front that I didn't even notice when I first came up. So just those little extra steps and, delivering firewood to our campsite, just really anything that they could do to make it easier on us. So I thought that was pretty amazing. And you said Ocklawaha. I've been saying it like that too. It's Ocklawaha.
Oh, it's Ocklawaha.
Ocklawaha, because they either spell it O-C-K or OK. Some people just do OK. I was spelling it O-A-K like oak, but I looked it up and it's Ocklawaha.
Okay, that makes more sense to me. I think we're leaning like towards an Oakland sound.
Yes.
Yes. Ocklawaha, which means muddy water.
We did learn that.
Yes.
So that was very impressive too. So I love when you go places and the owners or guides, they really try to educate you on, whatever the activity is or the area that you're in. So we did learn that. They educated on that. I can't talk. They educated us on that a little bit, which I love learning stuff like that. And they also talked about how that river, the Ocklawaha, part of it was dredged at one point, I think back in the 1800s,
it was.
For ships to come through for trading. And there's that huge bridge that they made in preparation of the ships coming through, but something fell through and that never happened.
Yeah,
so,
and what I was reading on, so those of you that are listening to this on the regular podcast, you'll also go, how we normally do the YouTube video and it's usually us and a guest, whoever we're interviewing, or it's us. This week we're doing something a little different. So along with the audio podcast, if you go to the YouTube channel, then there is a video that is this audio podcast on top of clips from the river and all the stuff we did on the river. So check it out if you get a chance.
I think that's great because then people can, if they've never been there before, they get a glimpse of it from a real person perspective.
Of course.
And and then they can decide if they want to go or not. So I think
Yeah,
that's really
exactly.
great.
And I'll have some clips on there that you'll see of the Canoe Outpost and Resort as well. The river flows north, but it's downstream the whole time when you do this tour. So what they do is Lance will take you, and because they're social distancing right now, he wears a mask, you wear a mask, you get into the van or the shuttle with your group only. And so he breaks it up by group, and he'll drive you out with the canoe or kayak, whichever you prefer to rent, drop you off at the beginning, and it's cool. You go all day down the river, and then you just basically pull off the river, and you're right back in your campsite.
Yeah.
Which is really neat.
It was really great. And I love that fun fact about the river. It flows north, but you're actually going downstream.
Yeah.
That's really weird when you think about it. It's like, wait a minute. No, north is up, right? Like to me, it's always like, no, you're going, which is normally how it is. But it's so interesting how it actually flows downriver, even though it's
Sure. Oh, yeah,
north.
yeah. Plenty of rivers flow. So you're thinking of it as if...
I think of literal like turn north and walk and
Like it's up.
It's always up to me.
Yeah, I
north
gotcha.
is always up to me. I
gotcha.
don't know what it is. And we saw how many gators on the river?
32?
Yes, we had a game. We usually have a game where we are like competing against each other, but we stopped doing that because
Anjee was
so many.
kicking my butt, so let's be honest. And she was so far ahead, I couldn't even keep track anymore. But you have like an eagle eye for that.
There's a lot of them, man. A lot of them. So that was cool.
Yeah,
man,
it was
to see
really
that
cool. A
many.
lot of babies. We did see a couple of really big ones, which you'll see in the video, and we were able to get pretty close. Now, if you're not native to Central Florida or you're not familiar with the alligators, you can get probably within maybe 15 feet without really upsetting them.
Yeah.
But we don't recommend getting any closer because
Don't mess with them.
They're not going to mess with you, but why bother them? That's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
They're just chilling, laying in
yeah.
the sun, man. How would you feel if somebody come poking at you or something if you're laying out in the sun?
Right.
Like, leave me alone. I found my spot. I'm chilling. Please move along. Get your picture and move along.
Exactly.
Right?
We saw a lot of turtles like we always do, and we saw fish jumping up out of the
Yeah.
water a few times, which is pretty neat. But we really, really wanted to see the monkeys or a manatee. Now, when I say monkeys, you're probably like, wait a minute, monkeys in Central Florida? But there really are monkeys out there on the river. In fact, when we were talking about this to the owners, to Teresa and Lance, the owners of the Ocklawaha Canoe Outpost and Resort, they were telling us that throughout the day, it can be group 1 through 9, and group 2 and 3 saw the monkeys, and group 7 saw the monkeys. And as if to accentuate the point, as we're coming back in when we were done, the group that was behind us came up and they saw monkeys.
I know.
And we didn't.
And I was scouting, buddy. I was up in the trees, on the ground, like looking everywhere for them. And I looked up the kind of monkey that is. It's called a, rhesus macaque is what they're called.
Yeah?
That's the name of the monkey. I mean, I just call it a monkey. but
Rhesus macaque. Well, so here's the fun fact.
They're the ones with like the little pink face.
Sure.
And then they have like the grayish brown hair with like a little bit of white around the face too.
You would think they're easy to see too, because when you're scanning the woods out there, everything is brown and green. So if you saw anything pinkish colored, it's easy to spot a person, but they blend in and they hide when they want to. And, what's cool is in different areas of Florida, there's some of these monkeys, and my understanding is they all kind of got here the same way. But Teresa was telling us on this particular river, they don't really want much to do with people at all. I mean, they'll come to the river and they'll stay there when you go by, but they're not trying to get to you and anything like that. Interesting thing, though, we had heard historically they were recording a Tarzan movie in Florida and some of the monkeys got away, and it sounded like such a cool story.
Fantastical.
Really. But the fact is, this was actually a bit of a zoo type thing that was put together many years ago.
Yeah,
and
which Silver Springs kind of was. Like it's the Silver Springs State Park that used to be there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And when the whole thing fell apart, for whatever reason, the guy who had the monkeys left them on a little island and thought they couldn't swim and they would just kind of live their life there and die off. And instead of collecting them and returning them to wherever he bought them or wherever they're indigenous from, he left them there. And since then, they have been spreading all over Florida. There's more reports of them going further south, further north.
Yeah, Jacksonville, I think she said there's reports of them in Jacksonville, as far north as Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if eventually there's just monkeys all over the place in Florida.
Yes, we do want to encourage you, if you see the monkeys, stay your distance from them. They do carry disease that they can spread to humans. Do not feed the monkeys because that's what causes them to not have the fear of humans, of course, just stay back a little bit, enjoy them, and, snap a few pictures, and you get to tell the fun story that you saw monkeys on the river.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have seen them before. So I saw them farther up the Silver River, which is going up into Silver Springs. And that's before we knew that they were actually there, and we just spotted them, and it was like, oh my gosh, what in the heck is going on?
Yeah.
So, but it's pretty cool seeing them.
It is really cool seeing them. And
it's like perfect environment for them in Florida.
It is.
Really.
I mean, it's one of those things where we screwed up the ecosystem. Sometimes we do that, but and it is still an interesting story if you think about it, because the guy who released them, he was a tour boat operator. His name was Colonel Tui. I'm sure he's got an actual name, but that's what he was known by.
Yeah.
And he did it to enhance his Jungle Cruise ride. So the idea was you drive by the island, you can see them. But when the whole thing shut down, even when the thing was operating, his philosophy was they'll stay on the island. So that's part of the cool tour, but didn't work out that way.
No, monkeys can jump very far,
and
first
swim.
of all.
They can swim. Yeah.
And I think that I've watched like on National Geographic before. Like some of them have taught themselves to do that.
Yeah.
They learn, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So there have been places where they were secluded, and guess what? They figured it out. Hey, I can get across this if I move my arms like this or float on this limb.
Yeah.
They're smart creatures.
Sure.
Like they're going to figure it out.
Well, the thing about that particular kind of monkey, and how do you say that again?
Rhesus.
Macaque. Rhesus
Yes.
macaque. Well, so here's a fun fact too. The reason they didn't use those in the Tarzan movie, that everyone says they did, is because these kinds of monkeys are notoriously mean.
Yeah.
So, consider that if you are doing kayaking or canoeing in some of the areas like Silver Springs where they come to the water and people have been feeding them, you just want to keep moving.
Yeah, and they have sharp teeth, people, and they pass disease. So you don't want to let your animals near them, anything like that. Just enjoy them. But that was a great little park that we stayed at.
It was.
And the cabins are beautiful. If you're ever planning a little weekend trip, it's a week-long trip, whatever, perfect little place to go. The cabins were super clean and comfortable, extra blankets, and like all the necessities that you need to, cook at your little cabin. Pretty much, there's not too much that you have to bring with you, except for your food. The little fridge in there. I mean, it was great.
A little kitchenette, little bathroom with a shower, with your own shower. And each one, I'm going to get this wrong, but each one of the cabins, whether you get the 2-room or the 1-room, they have the same amount of sleep or bedding. So it's 2 bunk beds. One has a double bed at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then... and just for clarity, the 2-bedroom, it's not 2-bedroom. I keep saying that. It's 2 rooms.
2 rooms, yeah.
So the 2-room really just has a kitchen with like a sitting area, but all of the bunks and stuff are still the same. There's a loft as well.
Yeah.
Where you could, I guess, potentially put additional sleepers or store your stuff.
Probably some kids, but you could definitely put a couple kids up there on some sleeping bags or air mattresses, and they'd be fine.
Yeah.
But you could fit quite a number of people in there.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of glamping. I mean, there's a TV in there. There's satellite TV. There's air conditioning or heat.
I don't mind glamping.
It was really cool. It was like all the benefits of camping with the fire pit and being out there in the woods and grilling and all that without having to deal with all the tent.
Yeah, and this is located up in the Ocala National Forest in Fort McCoy, which I think is so funny because growing up, I knew Fort McCoy very well, but I never knew this place was there.
Yeah.
My cousins lived up there. My aunt and uncle lived up there. And so I really knew that area. So to now know that this is right at the base of the bridge, pretty much. The bridge that I dreaded driving over as a teenager when I would go up there. And I still got like a little nervous when we drove over it today.
It's huge. Oh my gosh.
It is a huge bridge. And that was the bridge that they built over that river thinking that the big steamships
would come through.
Or were going to come through, which never did.
Yeah.
So.
Well, so we can't say enough good things about it. Another shout out to Teresa and Lance, the owners. They bought it a few years ago. They've been sprucing it up. You can totally tell that like the cabins were all done really nicely. They smell like cedar inside or something like that.
Oh, they're wonderful, yeah.
And just if you want to look for somewhere to do some glamping, to maybe do some kayaking or canoeing, see nature, and literally dock right back into your campsite area, please go check out the Ocklawaha Canoe Outpost and Resort in Fort McCoy. And we'll put a link in the show notes. You can scroll down and check it out.
Yeah, because if you try to find them on Facebook, I know, you know how sometimes you go on Facebook and you type just Ocklawaha Canoe.
There's a million
It's
things.
going to be something different.
Yep.
So we will put a link to that directly to their Facebook. And then it is, their website is outpostresort.com. So if you're listening and you want to check it out, go on. And hey, if you visit them, let them know that you heard about them from It's All Fine and Danjee.
Yes,
That'd be
please. Wonderful. Please do.
And we got a couple stickers from them to put on our kayaks. Even though we didn't kayak, we canoed because we didn't want to load the kayaks up. But
I don't know. Can you drop off your own? I don't know if you can bring your own kayak or canoe there. Oh, can you?
remember, we asked them if we could come up and just kayak the river, and they said past guest that they will do that.
I wasn't
to
sure
you.
that was an actual policy.
Yeah, it's
but
if you've stayed there before.
Oh, very nice.
So I think that's pretty cool. But they do. It's easier sometimes to just rent whatever is right there on hand, so you don't have to load everything out.
Exactly.
So yeah, we had a pretty. I mean, it was pretty mellow week, but we were. Saturday was all day canoeing.
Yeah. Plus,
Pretty much.
even when you're glamping, it's a lot of packing stuff up, a lot of buying stuff, rushing to get it all done, especially if you're working on a Friday, and then packing it up, driving out there, unpacking everything. You know what I mean? Packing it back up again when you leave. So it's.
I was pretty spoiled this weekend though, because I didn't have to cook it all. Like you cooked breakfast, you made lunch, dinner. Like, I got pretty spoiled.
Well, that's
thank
good.
you
It's
for
your
that.
birthday, of course.
I hope you felt as spoiled on your birthday.
Of course, I
made
did.
you cook on your birthday, so
It's a grill, though. Here's the thing. If it's a grill to me or an outdoor stove, it's not really cooking. It's just fun.
actually, Jeremy kind of cooked
In
so
the
that
kitchen.
you could kind of relax a little bit. So,
in the kitchen, I don't want to be in the kitchen. I can be outside and cook.
and then when we got home today, we had something else to do. So we actually loaded up, went down to our local little bike trail, and we walked the virtual IOA corporate 5K.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and if you remember, we had Betsy Hughes on a couple episodes ago talking about how they were doing the 5K this year virtually. They've had a ton of success with it. So people have been posting their stats on their social media all day, tagging them and stuff.
Yeah.
And we did a nice little brisk walk, and it took us about 58 minutes to do 3.1 miles.
Yep.
But we did it, and we're happy to help support the Second Harvest Food Bank and the Track Shack Youth Foundation.
We are happy to do that. And it was fun, too. I mean, it was fun. It kind of got us moving, and it's more exercise. And I love that they did it virtual this year, so it can happen. It could still happen. And
I am excited about when it goes back to normal and we can go downtown Orlando. We can walk the 3.1 miles. We can feel the buzz of the city, the buzz of like this unity of people coming together.
When it's a normal one,
having a good time, focusing on their health and wellness, focusing on nonprofits. I mean, I'm excited for that, but I do love, and like we talked to Betsy about, this is going to be something that only adds to them being able to give back to the community because of them being able to do it virtually, like people being able to do it virtually like this too. So I think it will just grow and grow and grow even more.
I do too.
Super excited about that. I lost what I was going to say.
After the IOA 5K, well, it has been a busy weekend. Also, I think I was supposed to then talk about our Sunday tradition.
Oh, yes. It's Dan's turn to talk.
It's our Sunday tradition that we are starting tonight. I hope we're starting tonight. What time is it?
It's only 6 o'clock. It feels like 9, but it's 6.
So what we're going to start doing on Sundays, and we'd like to shout out to Craig and Daisy Sanders for this idea because I've seen them posting it.
Yep.
We're going to start doing 80s movie Sunday night.
Yeah, we totally stole it from him. I'm not going to lie, but I thought it was an amazing idea.
It is an amazing idea. And I have seen him post like the intro screen to the movies that they're watching. I'm like, man, I want to watch that. So this is going to be cool. So the way we're going to start it is Angie's picking the first one. I don't know what it is.
It's
and we're going to watch
birthday weekend.
That's right. And probably because it has been a long weekend for us, we are going to watch just one tonight and call it. Maybe we're only ever going to watch one on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I am going to pick one for next week. I've already got mine picked too. So
I love it. I love it.
depending on if you're a child of the 70s, 80s, or 90s, I think it's a really cool idea because now, you can watch just about anything, anytime.
Yep.
And some of the movies that I loved from the 80s, I know you may have heard of some of them, but I guarantee you there's some you haven't and vice versa. So it'll be really cool.
Yeah, that's right. I think the one that I'm going to be having us watch tonight, you haven't seen. So
yeah, I think,
I'm excited.
Is this the one you kind of hinted at when we were on the kayak?
Yes.
Okay. So I keep saying kayak. No. So you're talking about Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to watch it. And for our first one, then I guess it's not that much of a surprise because I told you what I was going to pick first. I just need to verify that it's an 80s.
In New York.
Escape from New York.
Escape from New
York. I need
York.
to make sure that's an 80s movie, though.
I know, because some of them I thought of, I looked them up, and what's that app you told me? Sofa. So there's this app that Dan told me to download. It's called Sofa, and you can add any books or movies or anything that you want to add to certain list of like what you want to read or watch. So I thought that was pretty cool, but it'll find any movie that you can think of. You just got to have a few words in the title. But some of them I looked up were in the 90s. So I don't know. Maybe we'll have to do the 90s after we do the 80s.
Oh my gosh. 1981, Escape from New York.
Oh, you got it. There you go.
And you want to hear the funniest thing about Escape from New York? It was about the future. And so the movie's supposed to take place in 1997.
Oh, I love those ones to see. Like, really? Come on. This is what you were thinking it was going to be like.
Oh my goodness. That's great.
Oh man. So I'm kind of ready to sit on the couch and just kind of chill, man.
So as we wrap up tonight, I did want to mention that our Shop Small, what are we calling our Shop Small?
This holiday season.
Yeah, but it's an event, I guess. It's
Shop Small promotion.
Yeah, our Shop Small promotion event. It is still happening. We have over a dozen people participating. We have more to come. And just to remind you guys, that is local businesses where you can go to their website or go into their store and tell them a code word or go to a code link that we provide, and they will give you discounts or freebies or whatever to purchase from them. It helps small business. It helps promote them. It helps promote us, and then you're helping your local community. So you really can't go wrong. And the ones we wanted to plug this week, speaking of Track Shack, and Track Shack is actually a store or a series of stores, isn't it?
No.
It's just a store?
Just Orlando.
Oh, very cool. So Track Shack, well, that makes it even more local.
Yeah.
So when we talked to Betsy about the IOA 5K, we talked a little bit about their store. They sell things for runners, for athletes, like running shoes and things like that. And they will give you $10 off $100 if you go to their website and on checkout use the code AFD, as in all fine and Danjee.
That's right.
And that is perfect for the runner, walker, or athlete in your life. Go to trackshack.com. That's trackshack.com and use the code AFD at checkout.
Yep. And, they have like great stocking stuffers too. Like the socks that they sell are amazing. They have like those air wicking socks that your feet don't get all sweaty whenever you're running or walking.
I want to go there
even
because
working all day, your feet, like you need something that will keep them nice and dry.
Yeah, I'd love to go into their store because we have shopped at places like that before we, met up with Track Shack people, but I would like to go to their place and support their business.
Yeah, absolutely. They have some really nice shoes in there too.
I bet.
Really nice.
Well, you need some.
Yeah. I mean, we really should rotate our shoes.
Yeah.
Like most of us wear the same pair of shoes for everything.
Oh, I know.
For walking, for running, for riding a bike, for standing all day. And you really should have different types of shoes for different events that you're doing.
Yeah.
And they do work with that too. They can tell you what types of shoes to do.
Oh, and if you're at a job where you're on your feet all day.
Yes.
That's hugely important that you have the right shoes. It'll make the difference in your back pain and everything.
It really does, because I have, I had been in retail so many years of my life, standing up, moving around.
And the wrong
I'm
shoes.
still doing that. Yeah. And if you're wearing the wrong shoes, like I can't wear flip-flops to work in or anything like, no. So go visit the crew down there, the team down at Track Shack, and they will definitely hook you up.
Awesome.
And then HitFit Gym here in Apopka. We love our HitFit Gym.
Indeed we do.
They are offering an amazing little incentive for you. with any 6 or 12 month membership, because they want you, you need to have that commitment for your health and wellness. You know what I mean? So with a 6 or 12 month membership, they're giving away a $200 value for free, which includes 4 free personal training sessions.
Wow.
And I've worked out with their personal trainers. They're amazing. They have lots of energy.
So have I. Yes, they are.
They really focus on whatever your needs are, because, some people need to modify things, or, I don't want to say dumb it down, but make it a little simpler for maybe an injury they've had, or just if they're starting off. So their trainers are super with doing that kind of thing. So you get 4 free personal training sessions. You also get a free meal plan that'll help you stay on track. And you get the benefit of being able to work out at your own convenience. 35-minute workout. What we love about HitFit Gym is it's hit or fit. So you choose a side that you're going to work out on. So you're either going to do more of a cardio workout for that 35 minutes, or you're going to do more of a strength workout.
Right.
So you choose what side you're going to do, and it is literally a 35-minute workout. There's no guessing games as far as what you're going to do. There's a little video in front of you that shows you exactly what to do. You have trainers walking around, so if you're not doing something right, they can help you with your form.
And they'll adapt it also. If you have like I have lower back damage, they will adapt the exercise around. If you have a limitation that you cannot get around, they'll make sure you don't get hurt and that you can still get the right workout.
Yeah. So all you need to do to get that great offer that they have going on is if you check out our website and you go to the Shop Small this holiday season and click on their link on that page or their icon, click on the picture of HitFit. It'll take you right to where you can get an appointment scheduled. Or when you're in the store, let them know. Secret code word, Danjee. Let them know you found out about them from It's All Fine and Danjee.
That's right. And again, the code word that you want to use is Danjee. That's so great.
Danjee. I tried to get that with everybody, but some people's systems are different where they can only use numbers as their code, or, something like that.
Something shorter.
Or like AFD.
Yeah.
All Fine Danjee.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They had like a smaller code word that they needed to use. So, but we tried to work it in somehow so that, hey. And then of course, my favorite things, if you have,
I just wanted to jump in on that one, not to interrupt you, but always confused me at first because I love the name of the company and I love what they do and I love how good they are to their customers and their staff and everything else. But the name of the company is My Favorite Things. So whenever you or anybody goes, and also My Favorite Things it's like, wait a minute, what are your favorite things? That's the name of the company, My Favorite Things, right?
Yes.
Okay.
My Favorite Things.
Sure.
Oh, because people are thinking
don't know what
I'm
you're talking about. Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So My Favorite Things is a paper, like a card crafting company. So if you ever go in and you're going to buy, a birthday card for somebody in the Hallmark section, but you see these cards that are like really pretty, right? Like
they're
they
almost
have
like 3D almost.
They're like artwork.
Yeah.
This is what a paper crafting card person does.
Yeah.
They make these beautiful pieces of art in the form of cards. And I mean, it's more than cards. They make like little gift boxes and everything.
Yeah.
But
the stuff you spend a fortune on if you just go buy it in Hallmark already made.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. And it's really an art. It is definitely an art. And it is, a very popular hobby.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
It's also good for you. Remember when we talked to the Linus Project about keeping your hands busy?
That's right. It's like the mind-hand connection.
That's right.
So very, very cool. But they are offering 10% off your entire purchase using, wait a minute, let's repeat that. Yes. 10% off your entire purchase using the code word, guess what, people? Danjee.
Now, is it all capital at everywhere?
All capital.
Okay, is it the same place with HitFit? It needs to be all capital as well?
Well,
okay.
You can go in and just tell them.
Oh, true.
Danjee, but
true.
Yes. And HitFit, you really don't have to enter it in. If you go to our Shop Small this holiday season,
you got the link.
It takes you right to the page. That's right. But yes, you guys check it out for that crafter in your life. And even if you're not going to purchase anything, jump on over there and get a gift card for that person who loves to do card crafts.
Yeah.
Something we love about this company is how well they treat their employees. They're a small business.
Yes.
Family owned. They're keeping it in the family.
Give back to the community also.
They give back to the community, and they also buy American-made products. So they really try. That is, to me, that's also investing back into your community.
Of
because
course.
it's your country.
That is a deliberate move by companies because it costs them more to do that,
Yes.
but they are deliberately doing that in order to help support the country as
That's
well as their
right.
staff, as well as their clients. Yeah, you can't say enough good things about my favorite things, but that's
right.
code word Danjee at checkout.
Code word Danjee
capital
at checkout.
Danjee.
Yeah. And we do have a shop in Eustis. It is not open right now due to COVID. We're keeping our community safe. But as soon as it is open back up, we will let the community know. It's a beautiful little crafting boutique, and we'd love for you to stop in and check it out when we do reopen next year sometime.
Yes, indeed. And I think that wraps the show up for today. We have some really cool guests coming up. I'm so excited. We normally don't
Thank you for
announce
helping
this.
with that.
With what? Getting guests lined up? Yes.
Angie's been slacking a little bit on that.
No,
but,
not at all.
because here's the thing. I really just want to start going and seeing people and doing the show. I almost wish we could have them. I wish we had a bigger studio so we could have a bigger space
like
in between us.
between us or something. Yeah,
I really do because I just miss it.
I do too. But sadly, it's probably going to be a little while before we can do much of that, unless people are meeting outside or whatever. But don't usually announce this ahead of time. But very excited for next week's interview with local author Scott Stevens. I don't want to ruin anything, but he has a bunch of books out. They are all very popular. And he is on the cusp of something big happening with his books and his career. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we've got another very exciting organization that I will leave very vague for the next guest after that.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed listening to the show, please give us a rating. A review would be wonderful. And subscribe if you haven't already. You can do that on any of your podcast apps. If you're on Google phone, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Android.
Yep.
That's how we say it. Android phone. Android phone sounds so much cooler than an Apple phone. I'm just saying because it's the word Android. There's something about it. It's really cool sounding.
Sure. So for clarity too, the Google podcast app, you can use that on an iPhone or an Android phone.
Oh,
but
okay.
Whichever your iPod application is that you listen to the podcast through, normally any of them you can select one of the shows, scroll down, it'll say rate the show. You pick your stars, you type it in, whatever. We've had people ask us, how do you give the show a rating? That's how you have to do it. And if you're listening through YouTube or something, you can't really do it.
Yeah.
But if you specifically are using a podcast application, same thing with some of the other, lesser used applications for podcasts, like, I'm going to flake out now on the name of it. Spotify.
Oh, Spotify.
You can give us a rating on Spotify. We're on Amazon Music. You can give us a rating on that. But in any case, we really, really appreciate ratings. They really do help us out a lot.
Yes, they do. And guys, if you need to get a hold of us, send us an
I did the same thing.
send us
What
an
is up with
email.
us tonight?
We're tired, and I don't want to fall asleep during our movie. But anyway, guys, give us an email at feedback@fineanddanjee.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us, or, shooting us like a message through Facebook Messenger or something like that.
Right.
Or you can give us a call at 407-490-3899. Leave a message. We'll get back to you as soon as possible.
That's right. You can find all of our social media at Fine and Danjee. That's Facebook, Instagram, you name it. We're there at Fine and Danjee. And we want to thank you guys once again for joining us this week. We hope you have a great week. And we want to remind you, as we always do, at the end of each and every day,
It's all fine and dandy.